Hello, listeners. Welcome to a new section of the My Girlfriend Doesn't Like Robots podcast. That's a new thing for Battlebots 2020. It's for a section that I'm calling Favourite Fight. Now, a lot of other sort of robot YouTubers and stuff will cover every episode or every fight or whatever, and they do it a lot better than me, and there's a lot of people that do that. So, as like a weekly series, I'm going to be going over a favourite fight from each episode of this season, just so I can still watch it and enjoy it, but I don't lose the sort of love for it as well. So first off, I want to talk about the new format, because the new format is really nice for what they've done. It feels really natural. It's set up in a really nice way that, like, if I didn't know it was because of COVID or the pandemic stuff, like, you wouldn't think twice. You think, oh yeah, they're just doing something new with it, because everything from where the Roboteers come out, or the interviews with Chris and Kenny, which to be fair, I really like the interview style where they're talking just down the camera lens to the other team. It's really nice. It's not so sort of close off and like right after the fight with Kenny just with a mic just there. It feels just more natural. It feels more like a sports interview sort of thing. It's really nice. There's a lot of good things about it, like, and all that. There's Frog's intros are still just as good. They feel really natural, and like even having him outside the box, it doesn't feel so completely different, because you still get the sort of the spectacle of it, I guess, everything that goes along with it. Some of the intros in this episode were cut a bit short, which I thought was a bit because the whole spiel of like everything that he goes into is sort of like it's a staple of the show, really. Like, I think if they were more consistent with sort of how he's presenting it and what he's saying each and every time, would be a bit better. And then the only other thing that I don't really like, and we'll have to get used to, is that they swap around the red square, blue square. So obviously since the reboot, they've always done it red square, blue square. In this one, for some reason, they've done it the way around. And the first time I heard it, it threw me for a complete loop. It's such a natural thing to hear: red square, ready, blue square, ready. It's very strange. But yeah, like, and even the whole thing of, because obviously they don't have an audience this year, and there was a lot of talk to say what they're going to do. Are they going to sort of phone in like crowd reactions or audio from the crowd? And thankfully they didn't, because that would have been a bit weird if you can blatantly see there's no one there. But everything what they've got with having the other teams up in like their opera boxes stuff, it's natural enough. It feels like a sort of like a homebrew competition, where it's just like a bunch of builders just get together and just beat the shit out of each other. It feels nice. It's a different sort of atmosphere, but it's still a series of Battlebots. It's not so completely far removed like that. It just ties it together nicely. It keeps it feeling consistent, really. So, favourite fight from this week initially was going to be Tombstone Endgame, because the shock reaction I had to that was just insane. Like, Endgame have talked this fight up since they called him out back in 2016, whenever it was. And there was always a little thing of it, because you look at Endgame's record from season 3 and season 4, and I imagine that a lot of it was sort of be like, yeah, they can talk it, but can they walk it? And they did. They absolutely walked it. It was such a mad reaction to that fight. It was over and done within 10 seconds, and it's just absolutely posted Tombstone out. It was mad. And the fact that that's only Tombstone's second only loss in the main competition, in the pre-bracket bit, and like the previous was obviously against Rotator, but that was a slog. That was a full 3 minutes. People were in pieces. It was as good as dead. This was just 10 seconds and done. It was such an antithesis. It was mad. It was a mental fight. But your favourite fight has to go to Sawblaze vs Whiplash, the opening fight of the card. I don't think I've ever seen two good at drivers go up against each other for such a fight like that. There's one of the most tactical fights I've seen, pretty much. The power that Sawblaze has this year is mad. I don't know if they've upgraded their motors or whatever, but it feels a lot faster. The hammer saw's coming down a lot with a lot more force. There's a lot more of a hit to it. It's such a big improvement on even just last year. And last year wasn't exactly a slouch like this, because I think they only had one knockout fight last year, maybe one or two in the main season. And this was a straight knockout. This wasn't they'd won it but hadn't knocked it out. And some of the driving and stuff that Jameson was doing, the way he taking it around Whiplash and just taking them to the sides and just throwing the hammer saw down was mad. The lovely shot at the end where they took the one of the weapon belts off of Whiplash and put a massive gash in the side bit of Whiplash was just beautiful. It shows it's so much more powerful, the big one, the big dragon head sort of thing. Whiplash wasn't exactly a slouch, because all through it they're always very tactical, always going up against it. They're not exactly afraid to go in head to head with it. And even when they were trying to attack over the back of them with their disc on the lifter, which looks a lot smaller this year. I don't know if that is it looks a lot thinner, so I don't know how substantial that's going to be as they go into the competition, because it looks a lot smaller than the previous sort of lifty one they had. But some of the attacks they were trying to get into was really good. I think they did manage to catch a few sort of hits on top of the weapon armor Sawblaze. And it wasn't completely one-sided. It was that very sort of back and forth dogged fight, race around the box. It was a really good fight. It was really fun to watch. You reminded me a lot of Death Row vs Witch Doctor from the top 4 last year, whereas that sort of two machines are very, very equally matched, just trading blows back and forth. It was really good. The bit where Whiplash got caught up on the screws was really good, because I really thought that was going to be it. It would have been a bit of a near way to go out, to just being stuck behind it. But it obviously managed to come down, and Sawblaze was right on him again. And Jameson's driving. If he keeps this up for the whole of the season, he'll make top 8 at least, I reckon. If he keeps it up, even if he's just as good as this fight, it'll be top 8 for definite. And could very easily be, if he gets the right matchups, he could very easily be top 4 as well. There was some really good moments for the fight. I also did love Kenny's bit where he was just saying that they've gone to the Shadow Realm. It's the first time I've seen a Yu-Gi-Oh reference on TV in God knows how long, really. Yeah, it was such a good fight. Tactical fights like this, where it's just back and forth trading blows, is some of the best ones. As a Death Row Witch Doctor, Gruff Tombstone, aside from the judge's decision, ones like that where it's so evenly matched that it could really go any way at any time. It's edgy your seat fights like that are great fun to watch. Here, some of the best ones that you get out of it. So yeah, that was my favourite fight from episode 1 of season 5 of Battlebots. Hopefully be doing this every week, just picking out my favourite fight from each one. So keep that going. So there's still going to be content every week and not a full podcast every week. But yeah, so we shall see you in the next episode. Social media links and stuff will be down in the bottom, and we'll see you for the next time. Goodbye.